As I lit a fire in the middle of the barren Emily Murphy Park, it reminded me of the story in Ernest Hemingway's A Clean Lighted Place. As the central theme of A Clean Lighted Place talks about nothingness, or nada, I was able to draw parallels between existentialism and the idea of performing this assignment. What weight does this individual assignment have on the grand scheme of things? And is this assignment and the building of fire itself something we choose to do, assuming once we were born without purpose? When I started out the fire, it initially started out strong, but it kept dying out. It also did not help out how there was so much snow and frozen wood in the pit already. Even when it seemed to be starting out just fine, I had to keep tending to it meticulously to keep it alive. This reminded me of Hemingway's Paris Review interview, where once asked how much rewriting he does, he answered that for his novel, Farewell to Arms, he rewrote the ending 39 times before he was finally satisfied with it. The same way it took me multiple times to start a fire and keep tending to it. If you think about it, the process of writing is very similar to making a fire. Initially comes a spark, both literally and figuratively, which is needed to propagate the entire process. After the fire or the writing is established, you cannot just leave it alone. You must tend to it and feel it so the flame does not go out. The same way you must keep brainstorming ideas to put into your writing. Lastly, the way that everyone starts a fire and does writing is different. Sure, it is essentially the same way the fundamentals are carried out, but everyone has their own flair of doing the process. For Hemingway's, when he begins his project, he starts with his pencil and a reading board. He keeps onion skin on the paper, on a clipboard marked "These must be paid," pulling one sheet at a time over from the left. He writes slantwise, leaning his weight against his left arm to steady the page. Over the years, his handwriting has grown large and boyish, short of punctuation and capitals with an X for every period. Once a page is finished, he clips it down face right, moving from blank to the done. Once the fire started and was maintained, I started thinking about one of Hemingway's most famous works, A Clean Lighted Place. In the story, Hemingway's older waiter struggles with the realization that life has no inherent meaning, a concept that he calls nada. Because of this, he stays late night at the cafe to enforce cleanliness and order to resist the crushing force of nada. His logic here is that if life has no inherent meaning, we are able to make our own through meticulous actions such as cleaning. In a way, what we have done today is around the same thing. In a universe that's chaotic and empty, where nada attempts to consume you, we build a fire in a way to resist its force. We are essentially finding and making our own purpose in a universe by doing this fire, let alone this assignment. Relating back to the story, this cafe is a sanctuary because it allows the older waiter to face the night without being consumed by it. It is clean and well lighted. Having electric light, the cafe eliminates shadows where nada hides. It forces the world to be visible, therefore manageable. In a way, the fire we lit today, in a way, is sort of a sanctuary as well, as it is not only bright, which is a direct parallel to the Railway Cafe, but the act of starting a fire is a parallel to the cafe. You don't simply start a fire by accident, the same way you don't accidentally stumble into a clean, well-lighted place. Both actions entail a purposeful, meaningful escape from nada. When you light a campfire, you aren't just warming your body, you're curating a space where your mind can feel safe. You're building a temporary fortress out of light and heat. Without that fire, you're just another shadow in the woods, but with it, you're a person with a clean, well-lighted place.